All right, what's up? Welcome in. You're watching the 49ers Report live here on Chat Sports. Our NFL playoffs coverage continues. No matter where you are, how you're tuned in, appreciate all of you for making today's show a part of your day. 49ers Seahawks coming your way on Saturday during our live show today. We'll talk a little bit about that. Also talking Brock Purdy, John Lynch, and a whole lot more. And as always, this show is always about the faithful because this is the go-to spot for the faithful out there. And it's the NFL playoffs, so to get geared up for it, we'll be doing a watch party on Saturday, by the way. Everybody watching right now, just give me that P in the comment section. Type P for playoffs. I'm really pumped up. I know you're all pumped up. Of course, we'll dissect all of the latest happenings around the San Francisco 49ers as we continue to give you the best coverage right here on YouTube. We went live on Monday. We went live on Tuesday. Going live again on Thursday. I hope you're having a good Thursday, by the way. And we'll be live on Saturday as well, 90 minutes prior to kickoff. Who's with me? Who's hanging out? I see Kevin Edelman, Charlie Hustle, George Gomez, Sarah P., X the Flossy, Brian Caminati, Mr. Macho, EC, Mutt Flatulence, Mark, Russell Hill, Shane Wassel, Michael Mendez, EC, Rafi Smart, Paul Foster, Heber Williams, George Shores, Luke Michaels, Kenneth Barrett. George sent me a crazy picture the other day of some wild weather in Northern California. Of course, that will play a role in this game on Saturday. Hopefully not the detriment to San Francisco. Donald Layton, what's up, Chase? Salute to you. Everybody else tuning in. Bear Smoke Gaming saying bang, bang, Niner gang. Now, a lot of people are getting that notification. They're starting to pile in to our live show here on the 49ers Report, and it's all made possible thanks to a brand new sponsor here at Chat Sports, Geology. Custom skin and hair care routines, award-winning too, by the way, is Geology. And today's show, sponsored by Geology, the 16-time award-winning skin, hair, and body care company recognized in Men's Health, GQ, and Esquire. Geology creates simple and effective skincare and hair care routines customized just for you with ingredients that are proven to work. Right now, get this, for a limited time only, they are hooking up the faithful with an absolutely insane, bonkers offer. Use our code CHATSPORTS70 at chatsports.com/geology or use the QR code that we're about to show you on screen, and they will give you an exclusive 70% off their award-winning skincare trial set. Skincare shouldn't feel like a gamble. Geology is the best in the skincare game. Geology helps you fight acne, reduce oiliness, prevent wrinkles, have smoother, hydrated skin, and puts an end to dark or puffy under eyes, which is something, thanks to my family history, that sometimes I struggle with, and that's why Geology's been able to help me out, and that's why I love their products. They take care of all of your bathroom needs as well. I've been using Geology's face wash, too, in the mornings, their dark and puffy eye under cream, and their retinol night cream before going to bed. My skin looking and feeling great. I just turned 31, and a lot of people in the chat the other day, they said I look like I was in my mid-20s, and that's how I feel. That's how I look thanks to Geology. And in the shower, their body wash is free of harsh ingredients, so smell great, and they're refillable. So head to chatsports.com/geology, use the QR code on your screen, and use our code, ChatSports70. That link is in the comment section as well as the description of today's video. And on top of 70% off, you'll receive an exclusive bonus offer on one of their brand new skin, hair, or body products of your choice when you add it to your trial. This is one of the best offers you will see. Get it before it's gone. It's Geology making it happen right now. Now, I'm looking at the chat. J Cam, what kind of clickbait BS is this? What kind of closed-minded fool are you? We're just talking Niners today. Are you not down to talk Niners football? That's what we're going to do. We're talking Brock Purdy. We're talking John Lynch. So hang out with us, and if you don't, that's fine. You can leave. Words of wisdom is in the chat. Casey Hughes, Paul Foster, Kevin Edelman, all in the chat as well. Kenneth Barrett Jr. giving me that 100 because your confidence level right here in the Niners beating the Seahawks is what? Scale it for me from 1 to 100 and let us know in the chat. Kevin Edelman making a good comment here. Mitchell had a nice burst. He really did. He's played in 5 games this year. Gets back on the field, scores 2 touchdowns in the season finale against Arizona. I thought he looked really good in the process. They're going to need him on Saturday as well because The 49ers in 2 games against Seattle this year have averaged about 145 rushing yards per game, and with the weather expected to be rainy, sloppy, San Francisco going to have to run the football once again. So look back at the comment section. Michael Keller, 100. John Aiello, 100. Ed Death, 100. Charlie Hustle, 100 as well. A lot of people really confident in San Francisco. Also, our live poll tried to challenge you all. Are you concerned about the weather for Saturday's game? Yes. Levels the playing field. No, Niners are much better. So far, the confidence level continues to remain high. 58% going with no. The Niners are the much better team. I'm seeing a lot of 100s in the chat. Now some 90s from Mr. Macho Reaper Life. Appreciate all of you for getting that comment section going. All right, we're about to start our official live show here on the 49ers Report. And if you want the Niners to beat Seattle, I want you to hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. 126 people watching live right now, only 29 likes. Hit that thumbs up icon, like the video. Also, if you want to join the show, a couple of ways for you to do that. Hashtag 49ers, better yet, Super Chat to get featured on the program. And if we get to $50 in Super Chats, I am going to pop the Seahawks balloon because it's time to pop Seattle in the mouth on Saturday. $50 in total Super Chats. I will pop this Seahawks balloon, the artwork done by yours truly, because I try to be a talented cat out here and make these shows fun, even though some haters are going to say it's clickbait when all we're doing is informing you on what's going on with this organization and this football team. And we're talking Niners here. Also, anytime a $5 or more Super Chat comes in, got to beat the Seahawk helmet as well, because Niners going to smash in the Seahawks helmets on Saturday. What time is the watch party? Mike Honcho. We're going live 90 minutes before kickoff, thanks to us getting some big-time Super Chats during our Tuesday live show. So that is what you can expect. As for what you can expect on today's show, Brock Purdy disrespected by an ESPN NFL analyst. Christian McCaffrey named Player of the Month. Is John Lynch going to leave the Niners or is he staying? We will certainly explore that. And then also, do the Panthers want DeMeco Ryans? They submitted an interview request. So too did the Arizona Cardinals, which is obviously interesting for a couple of reasons. I try to get the hair right here because look good, feel good. That's the motto, thanks to our friends at Geology. What'd you say, Tris? Look good, feel good, perform good. That's really what it comes down to. Words of wisdom: need to place the Niner sticker on that Sea Chicken helmet. Cover that ish up. Now this is Tyler Jones's helmet from Seahawks Today. We'll beat it, though. And like I said, we get the $50 in total Super Chats. I'm going to pop this Seahawks balloon. We're down to party, and if we get the $50 in total Super Chats, I'll also shotgun a beer because we're never scared here right now on the
Chase,
49ers.
We also have Seahawks blue Gatorade. So we could do some Seahawks blue blood bongs if we wanted to. We could chug some Seahawks blood or some Seahawks Star, whatever. Seattle sucks, and we could just drink stuff.
We could do that. Charlie Hustle. News to me that Lynch is leaving. We're asking and posing the question as to whether or not he's going to leave. Stay tuned for that. Going to be a good conversation. Continue to hit that thumbs up icon, like the video, and we want to make this a big party here on this fine Thursday. And without further ado, let's start the show right now. Happy Thursday. Welcome into the 49ers Report right here on Chat Sports. Chase Sr. here with you, no matter where you are or how you're tuned in. As always, greatly appreciate all of you for making the 49ers Report a part of your day. Another loaded and fantastic show on tap for you all today. Brock Purdy, disrespected by Dan Orlovsky of ESPN. Christian McCaffrey named the NFC Offensive Player of the Month. His numbers staggering. Could John Lynch leave the Niners or is he staying? We'll dive into that. And two teams interviewing, or at least want to interview DeMeco Ryans, Carolina Panthers, and this just in, the rival Arizona Cardinals. Stay tuned for it all. Appreciate all of you for hanging out with us, and I hope you kick it with us on Saturday. We will be going live for our NFC Wild Card Watch Party right here on the 49ers Report against the Seattle Seahawks, 90 minutes before kickoff. It all begins, our show, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 o'clock Pacific. Make sure you subscribe and join us. Turn on your notifications. Therefore, whenever we push out a video in general and when we go go live like this, you will be notified. We begin with Brock Purdy, and first we start off on a positive note because Brock Purdy receiving a pretty impressive accolade after he was named the NFC Offensive Player of the Month, and his numbers over the last month, absolutely fantastic. He completed just over 68% of his passes. He threw for more than 1,300 yards, 13 passing touchdowns, and a passer rating of 112. And now Brock Purdy is 5-0 as a starter, and in each of his starts, he has thrown multiple touchdowns, and he has helped lift the Niners' offense, adding another explosive downfield element to it, and he's helped this team secure that number 2 seed in the NFC playoff picture. That's the good. Here's the bad and the ridiculousness coming from Dan Orlovsky and his playoff quarterback rankings. Here's how he ranks all of the quarterbacks in the playoff picture in the AFC and in the NFC. Number 1, Patrick Mahomes. Number 2, Joe Burrow. Number 3, Josh Allen. The top 3, pretty solid. This is when it starts to get a little bit sketchy, and I'm actually okay with Jalen Hurts being number 4, but right now he's injured and the jury is out. Justin Herbert at 5, there's no doubt he has stupid talent. Lamar Jackson at 6, he's not even playing. Tom Brady, you disrespect the GOAT at number 7, Daniel Jones at 8, Trevor Lawrence at 9, Geno Smith at 10, and then the final 4 among the 14 playoff teams, Kirk Cousins, Dak Prescott, Brock Purdy, and Skylar Thompson. It is disrespectful to have Brock Purdy and Skylar Thompson in the same conversation. And my thoughts about this list, the top 3-4 are pretty solid. Pretty tough to argue. In my opinion, when I evaluate quarterbacks, I like Joe Burrow ahead of Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen because I believe he's the best pure quarterback out there. Lamar at 6, wild. He is not even playing in the NFL playoffs, and he's been out for the last couple of months with a knee injury. Tom Brady at 7. You have him at 7 just ahead of Daniel Jones. That's disrespecting the GOAT, and behind Justin Herbert, who has no playoff experience. With DJ being at 8, you got to go to jail. And Brock Purdy at number 13, I'm calling cap on that. Why? Because in his first 5 starts, and since he became the 49ers starting quarterback, this is where Brock Purdy ranks among all quarterbacks in the National Football League. Passer rating of 119, that's first. 11 passing touchdowns, tied for first. Passing touchdowns per attempt, 8.9%. That's atop all quarterbacks in the NFL. Passing yards per attempt, 8.85. That is also ranking first. And his 5 wins tied for first among all quarterbacks in the NFL. Dan Orlovsky, I think you're great on ESPN. I think you're a fantastic NFL analyst, one of the best at that network. But those rankings of 1 to 14 for your playoff quarterbacks, bogus. So I'm going to put you to the test here, faithful. Where would you rank Brock Purdy? Let me know in the comment section, 1 to 14, where would you have Brock Purdy? He's top 10, no doubt, because of how he's played. The only reason Orlovsky has him down on that list, in my opinion, is because he's a rookie. Christian McCaffrey, like Brock Purdy, also getting some accolades as we continue to keep it moving live on the 49ers Report. He has been named the NFC Offensive Player of the Month. This Christian McCaffrey trade changed the trajectory of this Niners franchise and completely changed this offense. And he's been phenomenal since he got traded to the Bay Area, as San Francisco, in games that he's started, hasn't lost yet. And over the past month, one of the best, if not the best playmakers outside of quarterbacks in the NFL. Total yards, 767, as he continues to be fantastic running the football in between the tackles, outside of the tackles, toward the numbers, on the perimeter, but also as a wide receiver out of the backfield and in the slot. Christian McCaffrey is that dude. 27 receptions and 7 total touchdowns. Those numbers good enough to get McCaffrey to win NFC Offensive Player of the Month. And with this McCaffrey trade, right, I've been saying this for weeks, and this is why you subscribe to the 49ers Report, because oftentimes we're ahead of the game. There has not been a more impactful in-season trade in the history of the National Football League than the acquisition of the 49ers trading for Christian McCaffrey. They gave up draft compensation for Christian McCaffrey, and at the end of the day, when you mortgage that draft capital, it doesn't matter because the players that you could get in the NFL draft would not have an impact that Christian McCaffrey has had on this offense. He had nearly 2,000 all-purpose yards, and he has added a completely different element to this Niners offense. As a runner, as a pass catcher, he's spread out the field. He's helped out George Kittle. He's been a great benefit to Brock Purdy as a passer on some of those simple checkdowns, and we've seen him healthy, returning to that all-pro level where he had a couple of historic seasons a couple of years ago with the Carolina Panthers. The 49ers were struggling early in the year. They were 3-4. They lost to the Bears, Broncos, and Falcons, then got blown out by the Chiefs in McCaffrey's first game as a Niner. Since that acquisition, when he started games, the 49ers popped off 10 consecutive wins. He's one of the best route-running running backs of all time. His footwork is incredible. His devotion to his craft is really special. His passion for the game, I think, has been elevated with him being in a better atmosphere and a winning atmosphere in San Francisco as compared to Carolina. And the element, the play, the dynamic ability that he's added to this offense makes him the greatest in-season trade that we have ever seen in the history of the NFL, because not a single player that's been traded during the course of a season has changed the complexion of a team and had a greater impact than Christian McCaffrey on the San Francisco 49ers. Now, if you are subscribed to the show, I want you to type real one, because if you are subscribed and you continue to show us support, that means that you are a real one. We want to show you some love because you always show us some love, so type real one down below. I do want to welcome a brand new sponsor here to the 49ers Report, and it's a company that I've been using for a while so that I can look good on air, because you know the saying out there, look good, feel good, perform well, and that's what I'm able to do here on the Niners Report as we approach 75,000 subscribers. It is Geology, and they have one of the best deals of the century, 70% off if you head to chatsports.com/geology. Let me tell you more about their skincare products. Today's show, all brought to you by Geology, 16-time award-winning skin, hair, and body care company, recognized in Men's Health, GQ, and Esquire. Geology creates simple and effective skincare and hair care routines customized just for you with ingredients that are proven to work. And right now, for a limited time only, they are hooking you up with an absolutely insane offer. Use our code ChatSports70 at chatsports.com/geology, or use our QR code, which we're about to pop up on screen, and they will give you an exclusive 70% off of their award-winning skincare trial set. Skincare shouldn't feel like a gamble, because it's important how you look to others, especially making first-time impressions. And Geology is the best in the skincare game. Geology helps you fight acne, reduce oiliness, prevent wrinkles, have smoother, hydrated skin, and puts an end to dark or puffy under eyes, which is something, thanks to my family background, that I've struggled with in the past. Not anymore, thanks to Geology. They also take care of all of your bathroom needs. I've been using their face wash in the mornings, their dark and puffy under eye cream, and their retinol night cream before going to bed, and my skin is looking and feeling great. And in the shower, their body washes are free of harsh ingredients that smell great and are refillable, which is also important to me because since my mom passed away of cancer, I try to steer clear of those harsh chemicals that really ruin and take down your everyday life and your body as a whole. So head to chatsports.com/geology or the QR code on screen. Use our code ChatSports70. We'll put that link in the comment section and the description of today's video. It's chatsports.com/geology for 70% off, especially when you use that code ChatSports70. To some Niners coaching news and front office news. Let's round out today's show by talking about that. So this coming from Ian Rappaport yesterday. I thought this was a really interesting tweet from Ian Rappaport. He said this: one of the most coveted general manager candidates, 49ers assistant GM Adam Peters, has declined requests to interviews with the Titans and the Arizona Cardinals per sources. While Peters has great respect for those organizations, his focus is on supporting the Niners during their playoff run. With this news coming out that Adam Peters has turned down interview requests with the Titans and Arizona Cardinals, you have to read the tea leaves here. And that's what I was doing yesterday and earlier in the week on the show. So let's read the tea leaves here on Adam Peters and him turning down those interview requests with the Titans and the Cardinals. If you go back to last year, you remember that John Lynch turned down a broadcasting job with Amazon for a reported $15 million per year. That is far higher than what he makes in his salary with the San Francisco 49ers as general manager. And if John Lynch wants to go back to the broadcasting booth, which is what he was doing originally prior to coming to the Niners to team up with Kyle Shanahan in 2017, and he doesn't have a lot left in the tank with his front office role, has Adam Peters been told that he is the general manager in waiting? And once John Lynch decides to step away and maybe go back to the broadcasting booth, that Adam Peters is next up because he too came here in 2017 with John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan and has done wonders in the player development and player identification process in the NFL draft after he came to Santa Clara from the Denver Broncos. Now, John Lynch was asked about his current job status as general manager. And as of right now, he has shot down the rumors about him stepping aside, paving open an opportunity for Adam Peters to take over as GM. He said this, quote, "I just had somebody come in and say, 'Hey man, is there something I should know?' I said, 'What do you mean?' He said, 'I'm getting all these calls that people are inferring that you're leaving the 49ers. I was like, 'No, I'm good here.' I think Adam just came in and said, 'Look, I respect both those places, but I'm very happy here.' I think that's a great thing. Adam's from here in Cupertino and is a big part of what we're doing. He's been big for me, and at the same time, I'm a friend." I said, "Peters, maybe you should at least talk to these people," but he was convicted that he was good in San Francisco and his family's happy, so I like that, and I think, yes, we have a place where people want to be. And if the 49ers are able to retain Adam Peters, who has done a great job of finding players in the draft, being a part of their scouting development, that's huge news for San Francisco. Since he came here with John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan in 2017, the 49ers have hit on a bevy of draft picks, especially in the middle rounds and in the later rounds. And when those guys are able to become impact playmakers right from the get-go, that helps out your salary cap, which allows you to give Fred Warner a huge contract, George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, and soon Nick Bosa and hopefully Brandon Ayuk. Here's some notable draft picks that Peters, Lynch have been a part of finding in the NFL draft. Akilla Weatherspoon, round 3. George Kittle, round 5. DJ Jones in round 6. He's making $10 million per year now with the Denver Broncos. Mike McGlinchey in round 1. He's been better than what social media will tell you. It's hard to find a right tackle in the NFL. Fred Warner in round 3. He's become an all-pro and the best off-ball linebacker in the NFL. The 2019 draft class, one of the best in the history of this organization, considering the premier players that you found in Nick Bosa as well as Deebo Samuel in round 2. Mitch Wishnowsky, really good special teams player. In 2020, the jury is certainly out. And then in 2021, 2022, some really good players that the 49ers have been able to find. Dre Greenlaw could be a second-team All-Pro this year. 2020, Javon Kinlaw, Brandon Ayuk, Colton McKivitz, Charlie Warner, Jawan Jennings in round 7. And then in 2021, the jury is still out also on Trey Lance. Aaron Banks has been fantastic. Started every game this year outside of the season finale because of those knee and ankle injuries. Diamador Lenore is now starting in place of Emmanuel Mosley. Talanoa Hufanga named to a Pro Bowl in year 2. Elijah Mitchell, one of the best backup running backs in the sport in round 6. And then in 2022, this draft could end up being awesome for San Francisco. Drake Jackson round 2, Spencer Burford round 4, Samuel Womack in round 5, Brock Purdy round 7. All of these players this year have had a profound impact on the 49ers' success in the 2022 season, as now we're shifting gears to the 2023 NFL playoffs. And Adam Peters has certainly been a part of that. A big win if he's able to stay within this front office, because if he does, I believe at some point he could take over for John Lynch if and when he does step aside. Let's round out with this. DeMeco Ryans continues to get interview requests from a lot of openings across the National Football League. Carolina, recent, but the most recent that just came in just moments ago, Arizona Cardinals, the rivals in the NFC West. And John Lynch confirmed that the Panthers have requested to interview DeMeco Ryans, but he can be picky with where he goes because he is a viable and one of the best head coaching candidates out there. DeMeco Ryans has done a fantastic job in 2 years as defensive coordinator for this franchise. This year, the best defense in the NFL. They rank first in points per game, first in yards per game allowed, first in points per play, fourth in yards per play, third down conversion rate, about middle of the pack in the NFL, but the other numbers make up for that. Red zone scoring percentage is 20th, but opposing touchdowns per game, Niners number 3. So the red zone inefficiencies is made up for the opposing touchdowns per game. Yards per rush, they continue to be stout against the run at 3.2. Rushing yards per game at number 2, allowing sub 78 yards every contest. And they're led by Nick Bosa, who had a career year, one of the best years in the history of this franchise for any edge rusher, with a career high 18.5 sacks, 1 sack away from tying Aldon Smith's franchise record. And for DeMeco, it's been quite the rise for him in the coaching ranks because he started his coaching career only 5 years ago with the Niners as the defensive quality control. Great hire by Kyle Shanahan at the time. From 2018 to 2020, he was the inside linebackers coach, and in the last 2 years, he's been defensive coordinator. What happens next for him if he comes back to the Niners? That is also a win for this defense, and it's hard not to want to be here when you're coaching the likes of Nick Bosa and Fred Warner, but he was also a really good player, which is why I believe that DeMeco Ryans can be a great head coaching candidate. All-American at Alabama, Defensive Rookie of the Year, first-team All-Pro with Houston, and a 2-time Pro Bowler. And this is why I think DeMeco Ryans can be a very good head coach in this league. DeMeco has the necessary qualities and traits that you look for when you're hiring a new leader of your program and a head coach in the National Football League. When he was a player, and now that he's a coach, he's been a defensive mastermind. When he was a player, he was very successful as a former All-Pro and Pro Bowler. Excellent consensus first-team All-American at Alabama. And when you look at the traits that he possesses as an individual, great leadership qualities, great communication. His players rally around him, and they absolutely love and adore him. He has a strong presence, so he won't get bullied by some of these NFL players who sometimes feel entitled, especially in nowadays society, because he's so respected. People revere him and look up to him, and he has ties to build a really good coaching staff because of the coaching staff that Kyle Shanahan has been able to assemble over the last couple of years and his ties to other coaches, both as a player and as a coach in this league. DeMeco Ryans, no matter where he goes, I think he's going to be a very successful head coach in the National Football League. Before we round out this segment, feel free to interact with me on Twitter and Instagram. My handle is the same on both social media platforms, at Chase_Senior. Hit me up. Look forward to hearing from you. All right, great segment in the books. A lot of people watching live right now, and we are $12 away from popping the Seahawks balloon. Yeah, let's get it. So, damn Daniel. I'm asking this because Dan Orlovsky ranked all of his quarterbacks in the NFL. He ranked Brock Purdy 13th out of 14th. So where would you rank Purdy? And here's a look at that list. The top 3, 4, I don't really have a problem with. Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert. He's super talented, but I'm not taking him in a playoff game over Tom Brady. Lamar Jackson isn't even playing, and he's number 6. Daniel Jones at 8. Orlovsky, he might have to go to jail for that. Trevor Lawrence at 9. You have Daniel Jones over Trevor Lawrence, Dan? Damn, Daniel. Geno Smith at 10. And then the last 4. Kirk Cousins, Dak Prescott, which is hilarious because he has not played well this year. He's so overrated. Brock Purdy at 13 and Skylar Thompson at 14. Brock Purdy the last 5 weeks has played better than Dak Prescott. The only reason that Orlovsky has Purdy this low is because of his lack of playoff experience. Couple of super chats and donations to get to, so let's get it poppin'. G-Code, Purdy is a coach killer. He got Kingsbury fired twice. That's really funny. At Iowa State in the Big 12, and Kingsbury was at Texas Tech, and now with the Niners because Kingsbury was with the Arizona Cardinals. Words of wisdom. Real take, the weather concerns me. I said it before. This reminds me of the 90s NFC Championship game where Green Bay came in and beat us. Weather was a huge factor. I'm concerned about it too because what it does is it levels the playing field. That's what it does. Mike Hutcho! $20 super chat. He is our super chat MVP for today. Words of wisdom with 2. Deion Sanders, trade in 94. That was a big one. That's 2 CMCs in trade value. Okay, that's a pretty, was that an in-season trade though? Was that an in-season trade? Because a lot of times in-season trades didn't happen as compared to the last couple of years when general managers have gotten more aggressive. Let me see. Let me just double check. I was 2 years old at the time. Let's see. Deion trade in 94. Just taking a look here. Want to look at the details here. He was a signing, right? I'm talking trade acquisition. I'm not talking signing. Trade acquisition here. Marty Marr, 49er Empire, $10 super chat. How about smack down with that Sea Chicken Hamlet? 49er Empire, stand up. Speaking of the Sea Chickens, looking at where we're at in super chats, we're at $38. Once we get to 50, I'm going to pop the Seahawks bloom because the 49ers are going to pop the Seahawks come Saturday. So $12 away from popping the Seahawks bloom. Let's get there because this will be funny. It'll be hilarious. And the artwork done by yours truly. It's a pretty damn good logo right there, isn't it? Like the artwork? I did. Freehand. Pretty impressive, right? So, $12 away from popping the Seahawks balloon. And here's our Big Cock Brock, a.k.a. the Sea Chicken. It's the Sea Chicken, not BCB. There we go. How about that?
There we go.
BCB. Beating the Seahawk. And if we get a $50 super chat, as I said, I'm down to shotgun a beer because it's Thirsty Thursday, and we're going out tonight to celebrate myself and Matthew Peterson's birthday from earlier this week. We'll continue to take some of your questions. Matt Tarigno, NSFW, that's hilarious. Here's BCB right here. Hopefully he goes gangster style on Saturday. A little mooch with the 5. That gets us to 43. $7 away from popping the Seahawks balloon. $7 away from popping the Seahawks balloon because the Niners got to pop Seattle in the chin come Saturday. Our guy Lil Mooch. Mooch. $5 super chat. You're the man. Donald Layton with a good nickname. Machine Gun Purdy. I like it.
I like that.
Glock Purdy. Another one. Sign and trade Jimmy G from Jay. I don't think that benefits Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't think that's going to happen. Reyes Macias. Are they going to trade Trey Lance? It wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't completely shock me if the Niners did trade Trey Lance. Just because they can get some really good value back. Hey, Canelo! Sends us a super sticker. Go full screen here. Appreciate it, John. John. This is what I do. This is what I'll do, excuse me. I had said if we get a $50 super chat, I'd shotgun a beer. If we get to $100 in total super chats, we're 45 away, then I'll shotgun a beer. And we'll bring the crew on as well. So, we're going to pop the Sea Chicken here. Trace, what are you doing? Cool. John, thanks for getting us past 50. Jay Menino, if they fire Robert Saleh next year, what are the chances he comes back to the Niners if DeMeco leaves? I think it could be pretty solid. Keep an eye out for Mike LaFleur, who used to work for the Niners under Kyle Shanahan. He was the Jets offensive coordinator. He got canned yesterday. Wouldn't surprise me if he comes back, or if DeMeco gets a head coaching job, then maybe Mike LaFleur would be DeMeco's offensive coordinator. He had Zach Wilson as his quarterback and a bunch of trash quarterbacks, to be quite frank. And I don't think that the lack of the Jets' offensive explosion and efficiency was because Mike LaFleur is a bad coach. I just think that they had bad quarterbacks. Words of wisdom, $2 donation, meant to say Deion Sanders just as impactful as a signing. I got you, words of wisdom. I thought it was a signing, but I wasn't sure. That's why I had to go double check that. All right, we're popping the Sea Chicken. Type FC in the chat. Got this. Got past $50. We're going to pop the Seahawks balloon like the Niners are going to pop the Seahawks on the chin come Saturday. Bang, bang, Niner gang. San Francisco.
F Seattle.
Let's go.
F Seattle.
F the Sea Chickens.
F Seattle.
F Seattle. F Seattle. F Seattle. Honestly, I'm kind of bummed because that artwork was pretty solid. All right, we'll continue to take your super chats and your questions. We're not going to stay live too long today. I just wanted to go live once again. $100 in total super chats, Shotgun Freedom Funnel. We are $45 away. We'll start to answer some of your questions right now for the next couple of minutes. Hashtag 49ers, better yet, super chat to get featured live on the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. We did a 20-minute segment earlier talking about all of the most recent happenings around this football team. Now let's start to take your questions. F Seattle. F Seattle. All right, some people using the hashtag 49ers. We'll get you popped up on screen. If you send in a super chat, you skip the line. You get ahead of everybody else. Ryan Rodriguez. Chase, what's your take on what Pete Carroll said about playing versus us and that the 49ers are the team, unfortunately, that they drew the straw for? So I thought that what Richard Sherman said was great. He said, look, Pete Carroll always plays this card. He knows his motivational tactics. Pete Carroll always has his teams ready to play. Pete Carroll's not scared of the Niners. Pete Carroll never goes into a game scared. This is a motivational tactic for Pete Carroll and his football team. That's just what it is. And he understands that, yeah, the Niners are the better team. All numbers indicate that. The previous two games certainly show that as well. But it's the playoffs. It's the third go-around. Third time these teams will meet. And he's trying to motivate his guys to come up with what would be the biggest upset during Wild Card Weekend. Words of wisdom, getting us $40 away from a Shotgun and Freedom Funnel. Saw the Niners in 94 win that Super Bowl. Mike Shanahan was the offensive coordinator. Dude, the play calls were very similar. Rice on a jet sweep, fullback passes, tight end down the middle, and more. And where do you think Kyle got that? From the genius that his dad was in Mike Shanahan. And those offenses back in the day with a little West Coast wrinkle, with a little physicality and finesse to it, that's the way that I would build my football team. Very similar to how Bill Walsh had it. Those 90s Niners teams, even when Steve Young came, they played smash mouth, but also they'd slice and dice you up with a lot of creativity. And now Kyle Shanahan implementing a lot of motion and spread concepts, but they'll bring those formations close together and they'll run it right down your throat. Alberto Soto question: if Christian McCaffrey was a man of color, would he have more recognition? Stephen A. Smith mentioned that on First Take, and I'm also not happy that he didn't make the Pro Bowl. That's weird that Stephen A. Smith even said that. I think that Christian McCaffrey does get proper credit. It's a crime that he wasn't named to the Pro Bowl this year because he's been the NFL's best running back. It's a fan vote now. It's a fan vote now, but McCaffrey should be either a first-team All-Pro or second-team All-Pro. No running back in the NFL has had the impact that McCaffrey has had and done what he's done as a pass catcher and runner. Guy had nearly 2,000 all-purpose yards this year. Who's doing that across the NFL? And who's giving their offenses and their teams the receiving threat that McCaffrey gives the Niners? He is one of one. So I'm not sure about that, Alberto. I just hope that people appreciate what he does. He's already a two-time All-Pro in his career, so the respect has been there. This year, though, maybe because he got traded mid-season, and he was still playing really well with the Carolina Panthers. But when you're winning games, a lot of people take note of what you're doing. So, hey, I'm just glad he's with the Niners right now. G-Code, Grant Cohn has the same birthday as you. His is tomorrow. Mine was actually on Tuesday. Matthew Peterson's was on Monday. So tonight we're getting the Chat Sports crew together. Girlfriend Kira's flying into town, arriving soon. She's going to be here tonight. Yeah, so Kira will be here, and we'll get the crew together. Type KM in the chat for Kira. She's finally coming back. Kira. But me and Grant, two best Niners YouTubers, both Capricorns. What's good? Matt Tarigno. Do you prefer the Vikings or the Giants in the divisional round? And do you think we have the easiest route to the Super Bowl? I prefer the Giants because they're the lesser team. I am not scared of the Minnesota Vikings one bit, especially with Kirk Cousins having to travel on the road to play the Niners at Levi Stadium. I would even take the Niners to beat Minnesota on the road. I think they're a soft football team. I think that they can be exploited defensively with all of the weapons that the Niners have offensively and the play caller that is Kyle Shanahan. San Francisco has so much momentum. And I think in a way, I'm almost glad they didn't get that number 1 seed, because in playing this week and carrying that momentum from the regular season, you just keep that train moving without having that week off to maybe squander that momentum. Very good question there, Matt. Do they have the easiest route to the Super Bowl? I'd say the Eagles do, because home field advantage throughout the playoffs is great. The Eagles could play the Cowboys, they could play the Bucks, they could play the Giants, they could play the Seahawks. And all those games going to be at home. Niners, if the Eagles win the divisional round, Niners win this weekend, next weekend, they have to go on the road to Philly. It's a difficult place to play. Jay, if the weather gets more intense, what are the chances of moving the game to LA in a dome or to Arizona? We have a lot of faithful out here in Arizona. I would love for the Niners to play this game at SoFi Stadium. They're not going to move it. I think that it's a shame that a playoff level game could get impacted by the weather, and I have been a firm believer that a stadium like is going to be built in Buffalo should not be a dome, because the atmosphere is very unique, and I believe that football should be played in cold weather. But when you're playing in sloppy conditions and rain, it evens the playing field. And on a neutral surface, San Francisco, I think, would wipe Seattle. The only hope that the Seahawks have is if the Niners turn the football over. Words of wisdom, Chase and Trizzy, give me your upsets this weekend. Just one. Who is it? I have 2, actually. I think the Giants beat the Vikings, and I think that the Bucks can beat the Cowboys. How about you? You with me on that?
Those were my 2 that I was going to say. I also am looking AFC-wise. I see the Chargers losing. I think that they might be a first-round out.
Yeah.
Just love Justin Herbert.
Better record than the Jags, but they are the road team.
Yeah, I think that the Jags are super hot right now. Dougie P has a lot of good playoff experience in the postseason. And I don't know. Justin Herbert, very talented. I just don't know if he'll win in the postseason this year.
Yeah, honestly, it's one of the games I'm looking forward to the most here during Wild Card Weekend. Justin Herbert against Trevor Lawrence, 2 of the young studs at that quarterback spot. By the way, updated look at our Super Chat number. We are at $63. $100 in donations, and your donations go a long way in allowing us to give you videos every day, building new studios, hiring new staff. We get to 100, shotgun for me, Trace the Freedom Funnel. If we can get there, we'll do that. If not, all good. Let's continue to filter through some of your questions here. If you use the hashtag 49ers, and if you do send in a super chat, we answer your questions first, as you're allowed to really skip the line. Terrence Simpson is in the chat. Ryan Rodriguez, damn, the playoff experience. It is how the 49ers prepare for it. It is. And Brock Purdy doesn't have playoff experience, but I think he has the best roster in the NFL. So he has that working for him, which can make up for the lack of experience. You can go back to that ESPN comment that you had popped up there for a second there, Trace. DC Supernova. What did the ESPN guy say about Brock Purdy? We'll break it down. He said he's the 13th best quarterback among the 14 quarterbacks in the NFL playoffs. And here are Orlovsky's playoff quarterback rankings. It's hard to dispute the top 3 or 4. Now, me personally, I would go Joe Burrow number 1. I would go Patrick Mahomes 2 and Josh Allen 3. Jalen Hurts deserves to be 4 because he's been an MVP candidate, but he is injured right now. Justin Herbert at 5 with no playoff experience, somewhat questionable. Lamar Jackson at 6 is blasphemy because Lamar isn't even going to play this upcoming weekend, or is unlikely to. Tom Brady at 7 behind Herbert and Lamar Jackson. You're going to doubt one of the GOATs like that? Daniel Jones ahead of Trevor Lawrence at 8? Geno Smith at 10 ahead of Kirk Cousins? I don't know about that. I know he's had a good season, but that's questionable too. Dak Prescott at 12, he hasn't played well. Brock Purdy at 13, just ahead of Skylar Thompson, who made his, first NFL career start last week for a Dolphins team that put up 9 points on the board and needed a game-winning field goal late just to sneak into the playoffs, paired with the Patriots' loss? I disagree. Ernesto, what up? With the rain on Saturday, do you think all of our running backs see some action against the Seahawks? Well, the 49ers did average 145 rushing yards in 2 games against Seattle this year. I expect them to run the football a lot and keep those backs fresh as well. Mr. Macho 12, in the rain, in a slop fest. I think CMC will have a damn day with 100-plus yards from scrimmage, and I think Debo will get 75-plus yards receiving, Bosa with at least 2 sacks and a forced fumble. Bosa has 2 sacks and a forced fumble, and the Niners recover that fumble. They win the turnover battle. You could chalk it up as a dub. CMC hopefully has a big day with more than 100 rushing yards. He's been just fantastic since the trade acquisition. Debo coming back to have more than 75 yards receiving. It'd be good to see him getting back right. Matt Tarigno, what's one team you don't want to see in the Super Bowl against the Niners, and one team you would love to see, and the team you think will definitely be there in the AFC? The Niners do not match up well against the Kansas City Chiefs. From a matchup perspective, they don't match up well. But obviously, getting revenge on KC from 2019 would be phenomenal. The one team that I'd like to see in the Super Bowl, it's any team outside of the Chiefs, Bengals, and Bills. I'd like to see a Super Bowl rematch between the Niners and Bengals because of the Super Bowl history that those teams have. One team that you think will definitely be there, I think the Bengals. They're my favorite right now. I think the Bengals are going to make it to the Super Bowl for the second consecutive year. A little bit of a tough first-round matchup, though. Your confidence level in the Niners beating the Seahawks, let us know. 1 to 100. We are going to sign off here in just a little while. So let's put on the Super Chat shot clock. 2 minutes on the Super Chat shot clock. We will stay live as long as we get Super Chats. And if we get to 100 in total, we're at 63 right now, Shotgun Freedom Funnel, then myself and Trizzy, we will sign off. Donald Layton 100. Ryan Rodriguez 100, Ernesto 100, Vance Warner 79, Matt Tarigno. I agree. I think it's Niners Bengals. All right, brother. Great minds think alike. You know that saying. Vance Warner 79, Tony Montana. What's your confidence in the Niners winning the bowl? 80-85. I think they're the best team in the NFC. Jay Menino, say it one time. Seahawks. Seahawks, F Seattle. F Seattle. 55 seconds into our Super Chat shot clock. We get any more, we'll continue to chop it up and stay live. If not, we'll sign off. Ron Sullivan, you asked this the other day, I believe. Where does the money that you raise go? It allows me to give you videos every single day. It allows me to put food on my plate at night. It builds new studios here at Chat Sports and allows us to build our staff. Last year, coming up on 2 years starting at Chat Sports, by the way. 2021, March 1, that's when I started here. I was the 8th employee. Now we have 20. We have great new sponsorships, Athletic Greens, Geology, Manscaped, BetUS, a whole host of others, and a partnership with Amazon. So your Super Chats allow us to build our staff and give you the best Niners content out there. TFL Slayer, we're approaching 20 seconds left on our Super Chat shot clock. What do you think of the Niners-Bills Super Bowl? I think San Francisco can win that game because I think they had the recipe to stop the Bills' passing attack, and the Bills' rushing offense isn't all that good, and the Niners' rushing defense is great. I think they could confuse Josh Allen. The Niners' linebacking core could play a huge role in spying Allen throughout that game. All right, 10 seconds left to get those Super Chats in. Matt Tarigno, he resets the Super Chat shot clock. 2 minutes back on the clock. Gets us to $65. We are 35 away from a beer shotgun and a freedom funnel. Tony Montana, great show, Chase. Hey, live 3 times this week. Had to do it for the faithful. Great stuff, man. Great stuff from you, Matt. Good to see you on the show, man. Thanks for tuning in. So we reset the shot clock to 2 minutes.
Donald, I agree with you. The Lions should be in the playoffs. Just
purely because they beat
because
Green
they
Bay.
should be.
Yeah.
They should be because they should be. Who saw that coming from Detroit?
I know. Francisco, great show, Chase. Bang, bang. Jay Menino, $2 Super Chat. Reset the shot clock once again. That gets us to 67. 33 away from 70. Or 33 away from 100, excuse me. 3 away from 70, of course. I failed elementary algebra at Temple. Jay, thanks, man. Go Niners and bear down. All right. Little Bears fan, Niners fan. I won't hate. Let's go, guys. Get them to 100. And we get there. We're shotgunning a beer and doing a freedom funnel. DC Supernova, hey man, I'm recovering from tonsil surgery, and I just wanted to say thank you, Chase. You've made my recovery awesome. Bang, bang, Niner gang. Hope that you're recovering well, DC Supernova. When I was growing up, I had a lot of throat issues. Strep throat would just crush me. Thankfully now, I've really built up my immune system. I really am dedicated to what I put into my body, and I don't get sick as much because I've boosted my immunity. But you do the same, and hope you recover very quickly, and hopefully no more throat issues in the future. Thank you so much for that compliment. 1 minute in to our Super Chat shot clock, and after this one, if we continue, we'll go to a 1 minute shot clock. 100, shotgun, freedom funnel. We decided to go live last minute because we want to bring you the best content out there. Oh, okay. Jay Menino said, no, not the Bears. It's Arizona Wildcats bear down. I gotcha. I wasn't sure because that is the Chicago Bears saying as well. Thomas B., Lions should be in the postseason, not the terrible Bucks. I agree. Maybe a playoff reformat will happen at some point in the future, Thomas B. Terrence Simpson agrees. Bucks are bad. They did play really well against Carolina the second to last week. All right, approaching 10 seconds left on our Super Chat shot clock. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll give you about a 20-second delay because a lot of people do like to watch on delay. And if we get to 100 at this point, I'm just going to go bonkers. Jeffrey Scott Jackson, $5 Super Chat. You're the man. That beats the 20-second delay. That gets us $29 away from a beer shotgun and freedom funnel. It's Thirsty Thursday. Celebrated the birthday on Tuesday live here on the show. We're celebrating tonight as well with some cigars and Mexican food. Let's get the party going a little bit earlier here. Jeffrey Scott, 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 Jeffrey Scott. You're the man. DC Supernova, yeah, Jeffrey. We could. It would be. Jeffrey Scott. What a guy. Saying go Niners. Now, a lot of you are tuned in right now, and I'll kind of skim through.
Ooh, wait, Chase, before you do that, Mike D brings up a good question. And I kind of want to reformat it. Brady versus Purdy in the NFC Championship. Do you think Purdy could beat Brady twice in the same season?
That'd be something. I do, because the Niners are the better team.
100%.
And the Niners dominated Tampa Bay a couple of weeks ago.
I agree. Brady in the postseason scary, but that Niners team is elite, man.
Yeah, no doubt. So what we talked about today, Brock Purdy named NFC Offensive Player of the Month. By the way, 1:15 on our Super Chat shot clock. We are, 29 away from doing a beer shotgun and freedom funnel. It can all happen together. So Brock Purdy named NFC Offensive Rookie of the Month. And then Dan Orlovsky, after that, disrespected him. He put together his quarterback rankings and had Brock Purdy 13th, just ahead of Skylar Thompson. We also talked about Christian McCaffrey being named the NFC Offensive Player of the Month. He was fantastic during that stretch. And then some rumors on John Lynch. Is he going to leave San Francisco? Is he going to stay? He said that he's staying and not going anywhere, but we talked about that because Adam Peters, assistant general manager, has turned down a couple of potential openings with other teams across the NFL. All right, 10 seconds left on our Super Chat shot clock. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Oh, Mr. Black Ice coming through. Now we are 23 away from 100. Beat the Sea Chickens. Beat the Sea Chickens. Mr. Black Ice. Was it ever in NFL history that a team used 3 different quarterbacks and still made the playoffs? You think we should run the ball more? How's McCaffrey's injury? McCaffrey's injury is good. He's been practicing throughout this week. A team with 3 different quarterbacks? No. A team winning a Super Bowl with a rookie quarterback has never happened. It can happen this year because of how good the Niners are and Kyle Shanahan being a fantastic head coach. Mr. Black Ice keeping us live. How about now we go 1 minute shot clock, as I previewed a little bit earlier. 1 minute shot clock. Matt, make it 18 away. We are 18 away from a shotgun and freedom funnel. I think we can get there, folks. But we have to get off in 7 minutes because we have some other stuff to do here at Chat Sports, and lunch is waiting for us. Jay Menino, my dude, ice, clutch. Yes. Matt Tarigno, make it 18 away. Bang, bang, Niner gang. Hey! Jeffrey, 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 Jeffrey. Let's go! Get the beers lined up. Get the beers lined up. No, whatever's in there. I'll need some keys, though. Jeffrey! Him and Mike Concho, our Super Chat MVPs. Thank you, Jeffrey. Really appreciate that. Man, I'll tell you what, I wake up every day thinking of ways that we can improve the channel, ways that we can give you the best content. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and I can't sleep because I'm thinking, what am I going to talk about tomorrow on the Niners Report to serve the faithful? So for you all to show us that love back, really do appreciate that. Really do appreciate that. Stephen David, maybe so. That's the game until it gets changed. What up, what up? Let's go! We're going to sign off after this, by the way. We appreciate y'all a lot. Got the keys? Let's go. Let's go. Shotgun freedom funnel. Niners country, let's mine. It's Thirsty Thursday. You can't be scared out here.
Not in these streets.
Join us for our watch party. We're going live 90 minutes before kickoff on Saturday. Brock Purdy will be with us. The real ones know. Cheers, cheers, bang, bang, Niner gang.
Easy. Control of the lead.
Yeah, throw that away for me. Jay Menino, bro, Miller Lite, when you're shotgun, it doesn't really matter what beer it is, honestly. Let's go, Brock. All right, we're going to sign off. Thanks to all of y'all joining us. 49ers Report live, Chat Sports in the books. Next time we'll be live Saturday, 90-minute pregame show in the lead up to this NFC wildcard matchup between San Francisco and Seattle, but also videos coming out tomorrow as well as on Saturday morning. Hope you all have a great weekend. We'll see you Saturday. Peace.